Live here.
Live!
But we don't have to necessarily know what that means.
What's the someday of blank?
I don't
there's
know
a
that we
reason
want-
this story happens now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the movie writes itself. Ooh. Well,
I'm still streaming. How do I stop streaming? No!
hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
It's
Monday, but it feels like a Friday.
It's Monday, but it feels like a Friday.
Yes.
Yeah.
What did we do this morning, Ben?
We pitched a TV show this morning.
Damn right we did. And how did it go?
It went really well.
Yes,
it went
it
really
did.
well. It's interesting because you don't really know how it went.
You never know.
You have no idea. So we're waiting by the phone now, kind of.
Yes.
Only we're doing it
just-
live here with
Just
you.
check. No, I haven't called.
No messages yet.
Nothing
But
yet.
yeah, no, we pitched a studio show today, and it's a show that we've been working on a long time that hopefully we'll get to tell you more about one of these.
Yeah, that would be cool, wouldn't it? I'd love to be able to
great
do
if
that. Just go,
actually publicly discuss
yeah,
it.
here's how it went. Here's how it's gone down. I think that'd be invaluable for the emerging screenwriter community.
Yeah, but it was, it was a good, solid pitch, and it seemed like everyone involved was happy. And so the question is, will the studio say yes? And we will find out.
We will find out very soon. Keeping everything crossed. Everything.
Keeping everything. That's
My toes. That was my toes.
really know what that meant.
My toes.
Okay.
Fingers and toes crossed.
Yeah, I mean, I
You're
can't
thinking
really
about,
cross
Ben?
anything else.
Polyline.
Yeah, your legs. I guess you can cross your legs.
So yeah, but it does. Other than that, it feels like, I think because it always takes quite a lot of energy to do. It always feels like a performance. I always feel like I've kind of come off stage having done a
Right.
two-man show.
I will say it does take a lot of energy to pitch, but pitching is part of the business. Pitching is part of the job.
It is.
And actually, it'd be really good to do a couple episodes or maybe even like a separate type of podcast on pitching.
Totally.
We're not pitching the movie we're here to write. We're writing spec live.
We are.
And that's what we're here to do today. Is
We are
moving forward into the outline of our untitled Ben Lustig and Jake Thornton.
Yeah, we still haven't got names, have we? We still haven't got a title for it. But again, I kind of feel like that will reveal itself. And I'm happy to call her Charlize for the moment. So
yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about names actually over the weekend.
Bet you were, Ben. I bet you were.
I was thinking, what is a good demon name? And I still don't really have the answer, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because it's like you don't want it to just feel like a human name, but you don't want it to be so weird that it doesn't sound right.
You want a name that someone
Biblical, specific.
Yeah, that if you met them, you'd go, "Oh, what a unique name!" And if they went, "I'm a demon," you'd be like, "Of course."
Of course you're a
I mean, it
demon.
all makes sense now. It all makes sense. But you wouldn't be like, "That's a ridiculous name." No one's called Azarath.
Yeah.
Because no one's called Azarath. No one.
Azarath.
No one looks down at their cute little baby and says, "You know what we should call her? You know what we should call her, Ben? We should call her Little Azarath."
Yeah, but actually, it just is about who the name is for, because Azarath would be fine, in my opinion, for a villainous character. It doesn't sound like a heroic character, interestingly enough.
We should call Zod Azarath.
Azarath could be a cool name for Zod, sure. I don't really know where Azarath
Don't know. I think I just made it up.
comes from.
Yeah. I just made it up.
But Azarath definitely feels far more of it feels more sinister.
Yeah.
The Ath part. Azarath. I've got wrath, the wrath of Azarath.
Oh, hang on. There we go. There you go. Azarath this is in Buffy. Azarath was a demon that was ritually flayed in a ceremony called the Ritual of the Flaying of the Demon Azarath.
Yeah,
there
okay,
you go.
so I'm not going to use the name Azarath because he's already a demon in somebody else's make-believe world.
There you go. In Joss Whedon's. But again, very small. There's nothing much on the wiki about them. Only mentioned in earshot. in an episode of Buffy. So there you go.
Well, that hey, who knows?
Adrian
says hello. Hi, Adrian. How are you?
Who's there? Who's that?
Adrian from Facebook. Adrian.
Hello.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us. Let's crack on with it, shall we?
Let's crack on. So it's always hard on a Monday to come back after a weekend.
Yeah.
And remember what it was that you were working on Friday.
Yeah.
Right? But I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that we were really still kind of pushing through the top half of Act 1.
Yeah.
We had kind of come to an agreement in terms of the lore and the how and the why of what was going
on. Yes.
We had a great scene that where our Charlize character comes back home.
Yeah.
And she has a cat.
Yes.
In a bath, and it's crazy steaming hot, but that feels good to her because she's a demon. She likes hot.
Yeah. We had her in a diner.
Yeah. I think that's the last thing that we wrote.
I think it's the last thing we wrote. Yes, I think that's right. Let's open up. So I think then the next thing that we were gonna do is gonna be introducing Hank. And Hank getting home after work, going into his shed where there are yells and screams and cries, and then discovering that he's got this dude chained up like the gimp.
Yes.
Who's freaking out.
That's quite fun. I guess, so my question is, why is the gimp, other than having been being held hostage and potentially tortured by Hank, which I actually kind of like if Hank's a little...
I think Hank's a little too, absolutely. Yeah.
But
yeah,
if Hank comes home and finds this guy, we have to give ourselves a little bit of a reason as to what his plan was. Why?
Totally. I mean, is there something fun which is why do you have a demon in your potting shed? He's like, it led me to you, didn't it? And it's like, no, but seriously, why? He's like, don't ask.
You mean never really go back there at some point?
Don't know. But even if it were, so how did you find out? Oh, I keep a demon in my potting shed. Why? Doesn't matter. It brought me here, didn't it? You're just gonna leave that.
Is potting shed a Britishism, or is that?
Yes, it probably is. It's the shed where you transfer your plants that you've grown in pots, probably typically in your greenhouse.
We just call it a gardening shed here.
Yeah, I mean that's a separate thing. That's a whole separate shed. But
okay.
Let me tell you about sheds.
Let me tell you about sheds. There's a gardening shed, and then
there's a gardening shed. That's a whole different thing from your potting shed. Don't get me started. God, we're gonna have to break this down now. Let's spend 45 minutes of our podcast. Anyway, yes, typically where you would take your plants out of pots to prepare them to be transferred into the soil. That's my understanding of it. I've never had one.
Well, you better fucking get one. All right. No, I don't know that we're ever going to come back to Hank's house.
No, I don't think we are.
I do think it's interesting that Hank has a gimp in the basement or in the shed or in the garage or wherever.
Yeah, wherever it is. Yeah.
In the weird fallout shelter that he has in his backyard.
Totally.
For the apocalypse, whatever.
Yes.
It is.
I mean, maybe it does. I think that would be really funny.
Fun. I'm starting to see Hank like Woody Harrelson in Zombieland.
Great. That's great. Yeah, great.
Just a little bit of a scream.
Yeah, he's a little,
but so lovable at the same time.
Oh yeah,
and also
you bring him home to meet your parents, but you'd go for a beer with him.
Woody Harrelson would be really fun. But if that's the case, I do think we need to so if we're cutting to him now, we're going to see him, we're going to see what he normally does, but then we also are establishing that he still is a demon hunter even to this day, hence why he has a demon locked up in his potting shed.
Yes.
And see, in America we just call those pot sheds.
Yes, it's a different thing.
In the back of your house where you grow pot.
Yeah,
that's what that is.
You see, a grow room in the UK means something completely different.
But you know, it's a great scene for him to go in and find this demon all tied up. Part of me is just kind of going, there's a lot of, through a scene like that, you end up being able to kind of understand the world through just the kind of the realities that this presents. So I want to make sure that those realities coincide with all the various realities that we've been talking about, right? So like one of them being, if he is a demon hunter on a regular basis, there's got to be enough demons to hunt.
Right.
If he has a regular job at a Costco, does that mean there's enough demons to hunt in the Las Vegas metropolitan area? Or does that
or is that just where he lives?
Or is that just where he lives and then he travels around the country hunting demons because he sees what? How does, like, unlike something like where, like in The Conjuring, where they would have people seek them out and come to them for help, or they would be seeking out various disturbances or weirdnesses or whatever, and that's how they would go from job to job.
Yeah.
How does Hank do
So
that?
he's like a UFO nut. He scours the interwebs late into the night, early into the morning, looking for people tweeting, going on Reddit, in blogs, in forums, whatever, talking about the paranormal experiences that they're going through. And he has, but again, it doesn't really feel like it's what's happening, does it? It's not paranormal experiences with these. It's more, we are causing shit. It's not The Conjuring.
It's not.
So it's got to feel, what's he doing?
I mean, here's a question for you. There's no reason that in this variation of demonology that things like The Conjuring can't also happen.
This is true.
If Charlize and Zod and the gang are the strike team that go out and do terrorist bombings, it doesn't mean that other demons don't do other things. There could be.
I'll ask the question. You ask a lot of the time, which is that confusing? I don't think it is, but I'll just ask it.
It's not confusing if we are clear in our way of expanding and explaining it. Okay. But it could be. And so I think we just have to tread lightly or tread carefully and go, okay, so what are the rules of demons in the version of our world that we are creating? And it's something that we'll probably keep coming back to all the way until the draft is finished on the day before we shoot principal photography. But it's this thing of going, we have Charlize. She's a demon. We've established the type of demon that she is to a certain degree. Yeah. She looks human on the outside, but her reflection shows a different side of her in that pool of water we saw. That's another question that I have just about that, which is, does everybody else see that same thing, or is that like? Yeah,
I had the same question. Saying it
goes into a diner and there's a mirror behind the fucking counter. Does everybody see her as a demon?
Right.
I don't know. But that's another question to be solved. If that's what we're saying a demon is, there are other kinds of supernatural evil things like exorcisms we could say that those types of evil spirits are not necessarily the same as demons. We could say that poltergeists are their own variety,
their own kind of demon
from hell.
Yes, totally.
And there's a version where we do that. Or you just say that there are many ways in which demons fuck with humanity.
Right.
One of them is by whispering into humans' ears and making them do crazy shit. Yeah. One of them is by actually possessing a human and freaking everybody out around them.
Yeah.
Never fully understood what the purpose of possession was from a demon's angle. Never fully made sense to me. But they like to.
Well, it's funny, isn't it? Because I think about something like Paranormal Activity, and it feels like in that it's like he's going to take control of Katie and then do shit inside Katie's body.
Yeah, but to what end and why?
That nastiness.
Just because.
Wants to enter the lottery and win mega millions.
I mean, you could ultimately say that maybe it has to do with collecting of souls and evil souls, but then you get into this whole kind of religiosity of, Lucifer, and are we dealing with souls that go to hell, and is that even like what we're talking about here, or are we just talking about a plane of existence filled with evil demonic entities and demonic creatures?
Right.
I mean, it's a good question to be asking, because we're about to go to this character who supposedly has one of these things chained up in his back potting shed. So, does this thing that he has chained up in his back potting shed, is it a human that's been possessed? Is it another demon just like Charlize? Is it a monstrous looking thing that actually looks like a creature from hell but doesn't take human form?
Yep.
Are there different, are there orcs and urukai? Are there
and goblins?
And goblins, yeah. Are there different kinds of entities that are all from hellish entities, essentially?
Yes. I mean, I would be open to that. That there are lots of things out there in the world that are, you're an imp, you're a demon, you're a poltergeist, whatever. All these demonic entities that do different things. So therefore, Hank is the kind of person who, on a Tuesday evening, trawls the internet, has what was that radio station that you used to listen to with all the wackadoodle stuff late at night?
Oh God, what was that? It was Coast to Coast.
Coast to Coast.
It was a show, but yeah,
Coast, that kind of thing.
George Norrie.
There you go. See, after all these years,
I haven't listened to that in a long time. That was used when I was driving home from bartending, is when I listened to that, because it'd be on at 1 o'clock in the morning. And it was filled with all kinds of crazy paranormal shit. It was actually fun.
There you go. He listens to a show like that.
Sure.
So
then what? He then travels and goes to.
He must have some kind of job that he can take off real easily.
Yeah, I mean, manager at a supermarket isn't going to be that kind of
job. No, it's not, is it? It's not. But again, could it be I go on the weekends, go on my days?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really asking how he gets
exactly.
I am asking though, what his number one. I am asking what he expects to accomplish by bringing this demon home.
Sure.
And I am asking, is this the kind of thing whereby there are demons on a daily basis, or are there demons on a monthly basis? You know what I mean? Is it kind of thing where, I just watched some of that movie, Day Shift, about being a vampire hunter. Right. And in that, there's pretty much vampires to hunt all the time. They're just kind of it's like a regular.
They're like rats. They're everywhere.
They're just kind of all over the place.
Sure.
I feel like our demons are more special than that.
Yeah, I do too. I think
The Conjuring, you don't see those guys having a new gig every Thursday.
No.
They've got it's.
I think it's probably
another
2 to 3 times a year that this happens.
Right. Okay.
And he's got a demon in his basement, because when he gets information or he's got a question about demony stuff that he doesn't know the answer to, he goes down there and tortures the demon until the demon gives him the answer.
What would that be?
Little girl's got a demon inside her. What kind of demon would possess a girl? I've got some clues. This kind of thing.
So this demon has been helping him with his.
Yeah, because he tortures the demon. He throws holy water on it. No, make it stop. Fine, I'll speak. Fine. That's what he sounds like. I mean, I can play it. I'm available.
Sounds like. It sounds like.
So here's what I'm imagining. I've got a little scene in my head. The scene is this. He gets home. We see him doing some of his. He's got wackadoodle radio podcast on in the background. He's looks to his calendar. He's got a mark every Tuesday on his calendar. He's like, okay, fine. Goes to the kitchen, grills up a steak, burns the shit out of the steak, burns it bad, takes it up, but it's all normal. Takes it up, puts it on a plate, goes down to his potting shed, or where I actually really liked your idea about the fallout shelter. Goes down into the fallout shelter, and Tuesday's the day he feeds the demon. Okay. You know, like this thing does need to eat to survive, but just once a week. It's crisp steak. Goes down there, the demon's freaking out. He's like, what's going on? And then we see him doing a little bit of torture, sprinkling with holy water, whatever it is, something to make him upset and make him talk. And he's like, the master is coming. The master is coming. You can't see this on Apple Podcasts right now, but Ben just face palmed. Something like that. So I've gotten a way in. I see this guy's this kind of guy, and then you see he's got a creature. I don't know if he looks human or if he looks like a imp.
So, okay. So if he has this guy in this fallout shelter, this whatever he is that sounds like that. If he has that, is there like I don't know, like a job that he needs him for today? Like, I don't want to just see him go, oh, today's like the day I feed you, my dog.
So unless he starts to
be the day where, oh, by the way, you're fucked.
So if there were something that he either heard or has seen on Reddit, Demon Hunter Reddit, very popular Reddit, and he's like, let me go and ask them, and he, you know, goes down there, then then that's fine too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thomas Lee says hello. Thanks, Thomas. Hi, Thomas.
Hello. Something like that.
Yeah. I'm okay. Because at least that would make me understand. So here's the other direction that I was going to go.
Go.
And it is that going along with this mythology that we had started to kind of craft, whereby Charlize realizes something is off because she finds this other demon in town, right? Mm-hmm. And that demons don't come out frequently. They're not allowed to come out frequently, or it's not possible. We had talked, I think, last week about it requiring a lot of demonic energy, hence why the Antichrist, the whole mythology that we were crafting about the Antichrist, needing to kind of bring that forth, right?
Yes.
So I do think there's a way to say, for example, that like when you possess someone, that's not you full. It's in fact this a little Constantine-ish, but it works in this sense. When you're possessed, you haven't fully crossed over. You've possessing a human's body. You as a demon have not come into our realm. You're other than inside of this vessel, right?
Yeah.
What Charlize and Zod and gang do is they like full on crossover. Like that is Charlize. It's not somebody else's body that she.
Right. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
So I think that there's a version whereby the two are separate, but done by the same potentially type of hell cause for the same reasons, for the same thing of like, you know, there's possessions and then there's demons that actually cross over. Point is,
right,
it's very energy consuming to cross over. And so for when Charlize sees this random fucking underling demon in this grocery store, she's going to go, what the fuck, right? Like that, there must be huge influx in demonic energy for them to be just randomly fucking jumping across the rift here.
Yeah.
Is Hank having a relatively similar experience in the sense that he actually fucking caught this guy recently?
Yeah,
that he either has only ever seen one of them before or a few times, like it's very rare, also kind of trying to keep with the same mythology and going what essentially similar to Charlize. It's like, why are you here? What was your plan?
Yeah.
What were you gonna do? Where are your buddies? I know
sure.
demons don't come here by themselves. That's a fucking myth. You were here with other demons. Where are they? What are they planning? They're gonna come for you. Whatever it is, like we could see him in like demon hunter mode, so to speak.
Yeah, we could. Again, I'm seeing lots of kind of cool, fun imagery. I'm just kind of going like in the lead up to it, like what the fuck is this guy up to? You know, he goes home like, and like it could be like, you know, honestly, paints him like he's a good Christian boy on the surface, you know, or he's got, you know, like something on his car. He's got his, you know, little Christian fish on his car, whatever it is. And he's at home, he's pouring around, he's got the radio on, then he goes to a closet, and he opens up the closet, it's just fucking filled with torture equipment, just filled with stuff. He's like picking some through, like it's a normal Thursday, you know.
You know what it is that's on his car? It's that bumper sticker. I actually quite like it, but it's like peace, but it's
coexist.
Coexist. That's right.
Yeah, great.
Coexist.
Great. Cool. Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, he's gonna be
this is a guy who's like just like
sure,
chill, you know,
totally chill. Great. Goes home, fucking torture equipment, takes it all out, you know, and he's humming along. He's got fucking some music in the back, whatever it is. Goes down, and he's like, "Dang, so we're gonna try this again."
Yeah. Right.
What the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah. And there's this, and that it's this influx. There's a reason for it that we're about to find out. But that we're building upon this same idea of that even our guy Hank, who has dedicated the last 20 years of his life to demon hunting, doesn't just fucking come across demons all the time.
Right.
Like that's not something that happens. And you know, it'd be interesting to even think about like how many demons has Hank actually killed?
Right.
Does an exorcism count? Is that just sending them back to the other side? Or like has he encountered like demons in the flesh before?
Yeah, sure.
And also we talked about this in a variation of his story, that he learned about this stuff from someone. So he does know.
Yes.
Does know the rules and the difficulties, and the fact that demons don't just appear for no reason. That if you see a demon in the flesh, it means some fucking bad shit's gonna happen.
Yes.
If you see a demon in the flesh in your city, there's gonna be a fucking bombing, a giant fucking electrical fire, like there's mischief is going to fucking happen here.
Absolutely.
So it's like that in and of itself is a sign. So the fact that he's not only seen this one, been able to capture him, bring him into his bomb shelter, and going, nothing's happened in the last 24 hours.
But
why? Like, why are you here?
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on? Like, the first thing he's jumping to is not, the Antichrist.
No.
It's what demons do, which is you're here to fuck shit up.
Yeah.
So what are you trying? What am I gonna thwart, basically? You know?
Yeah. And
the guy's just like, this demon is like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah. And that's what he sounds like.
The demon is Matthew McConaughey from Dazed and Confused.
Or from honestly any Matthew McConaughey movie.
Right. The demon is Matthew McConaughey in the Cadillac commercials. And he's just like
from his Oscar speech.
Whatever, man. I'm just here. And I'm enjoying being.
I just want to say that basically the Antichrist is coming, and
why you gotta hurt me? There's something fun about all that. And then also I like the idea that we can see Hank having multiple tactics, right? So the stake is actually quite fun.
Yes, right. Stake number one.
At first, he's like, "Look, you tell me something, I give you a piece. I know you want it.
Yeah.
I know you want it." And it's like the darkest char.
Here's the thing. At work, he picks up a piece of meat, and that's the meat. It's just all ties in together.
Sure. Yeah. Then he comes. Yeah. Oh, it'd be fun for him as a job. Like, I know it's just it's all kind of getting a little bit goofy. So I want to make sure tonally that we're ourselves in check. But like, if he is working in a supermarket, like, make him a butcher.
Yeah, that's just totally. It's great.
Like, he's behind the butcher counter, and he fucking the first when we cut away from her, it's chop right through a piece of bloody
steak. Yeah, great, absolutely. Yeah.
And then it's like, hey Hank, you got 5 minutes before you're off shift. Yeah, buddy. You know, whatever it is. And then he's wrapping it up, and he's in the back room. He's taking his apron off. Did you see this shit that went down in Portland?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, whatever that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Great.
So Hank comes back having seen it, and he thinks that this demon that he's with, because he knows this shit, might know something about that. Right. And he's like, what the fuck? Like, did you have anything to do with this? And the guy's like, you just caught me in Vegas. How would I have gotten from Portland to Vegas in this amount of demons?
Great. Awesome. Cool. Great.
You must know something about it. That kind of
interrogation. And he gets the answer.
The answer is hell is on fire. They're ready to fucking come.
Let's open up our outline document while you do that. I'll do an usual delightful spiel. Hello, everybody. Thanks for watching Ben and Jake Write a Movie, where Ben Lustig and Jake Thornton write a movie from scratch, live, in the comfort of your own home. You can find me on Twitter at Jake Thornton. You can find Ben on Twitter when he occasionally tweets at Ben_Lustig. Occasionally, it might be like complaints about customer service somewhere, but you know, it's all valuable content.
Hey, that's
it's important. I mean, that is, you know, like you want to know, if
I've definitely tweeted at airlines.
US Airlines is not behaving itself. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, where some of you are watching us live now. You can find us at Lustig Thornton on Facebook. I think that's all of it. A podcast of ours is coming out tomorrow. I just heard from Kira. Was it Kira? My wife, I forgot her name. She just texted me, and so we can link to that tomorrow, which will be great. Kaya. So she is we'll have that link for you available tomorrow as well. So that'd be awesome.
Nice.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that was a very fun podcast.
It was a fun podcast, actually. Yeah. We'll send a link to it. Okay, cool. So exterior butcher's night.
So this would be now. I like the hard cut right into the butcher.
Yeah.
Thing. And I think it can be, interior supermarket, whatever.
Yeah.
Night. Chop. The butcher knife cuts through meat and bone. It's Hank. He's finishing up his shift. His boss/buddy tells him to clock out.
Yep.
Asks if he's seen about the shit in Portland.
Yep.
Hank looks at his cell phone, sees the news.
Yeah.
Then we go to his house, I guess.
Sure.
We haven't actually seen that they're even in Vegas at this point, have we?
This is true.
If we come out like this.
And again, what you were saying earlier, it's not like there are demons just walking around.
No.
So while Sin City is a nice idea, it doesn't have to be Vegas by any means.
No. It's more just choosing, I guess, where he's coming from. But the reality is we can also do a super to say where we are.
Totally.
I think the thing for me is just that he's not in the same place as either Sam or Charlize. And I think that's the point, is that we are not all in and around Portland.
Yeah.
We are in different parts of even if it's
just the United States.
Yeah. We are close enough, but not right on top of each other.
Yeah.
So we can say, super Arizona, but or super Las Vegas or super wherever.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to see a city skyline. I think we can just.
I agree.
I think we can do a superimpose, and then I think we go to his house.
Basically. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where he is, but it's interesting because I don't necessarily feel like it's that important in that sense. He could be in fucking Boise, Idaho, if we wanted him to be, or like literally wherever. Tucson, Arizona.
I guess it is somewhat important in the sense that if he really is a demon hunter who, regardless of how frequently he ends up finding demons, he is going to have been taught by a previous demon hunter. And there are certain areas that demons tend to go and do things. And little small towns in Colorado, like where Charlize is, are not one of them.
Totally.
A city like New York, Las Vegas,
Dallas, Texas,
Los Angeles, Dallas, a big city might be one of them.
But I feel like he's doing most of his time when he's going traveling. Could there be one or two that he's come across at some point in the past? Yeah, sure. But I don't think it's like, I'm the demon hunter of Dallas, although that does sound like a great movie or comic book that we must definitely write at some point.
I guess okay, so here's the thing, and this is just like really bullshit practicality stuff, right? But like, all right, I'm a demon hunter. Pretend I'm a demon hunter for a moment.
Okay, I will do. I'll do my best.
Just pretend. Okay. I'm a demon hunter.
Go.
If I sit around and wait for 9/11 to happen and then go,
he's not. He's not. He's on the boards every night, going on Reddit, listening to all that stuff.
But what does that mean? I guess here's the thing. I don't know what that means. I don't know how I'm going to go and find a real demon in the real world doing really bad things from people on Reddit. Like,
I mean, honestly, if you've been on Reddit, you would know that that's the place where you definitely.
Well, I mean, I'm just like, use the 1925 example, right? Like, what did they do? They came out of wherever the fuck portal they came out of. They went, they got the dynamite, they got a car, they got some clothes, they probably killed a couple of people in order to get all those things. They chose a target, they planned the time, they went and they fucking blew. If they had been successful, they would have blown up the building, and then they would have ditched all their stuff and jumped back in the portal and gone back to hell, right? As a demon hunter, you literally have from point A to point B in order to hunt them down.
Sure.
That's it.
So you would need to live near an airport.
If you knew, I mean, how would you know when they were even out of the portal? I mean, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Just the practicalities of the quote unquote profession, right? If it relates to, I guess, just what his regular demon hunting life looks like. If it's about exorcisms, like I understand, like John Constantine could, in theory, live anywhere because somebody comes.
Yeah, or the people in The Conjuring,
or the people
in theory live anywhere they want.
They get a phone call and say, "We have a girl who's possessed." And exorcisms, the possession can take weeks. It's not something that happens in one day. Like, nobody's being hunted. We know exactly where the girl is. All we have to do is drive there. We go inside, throw some holy water or whatever, and then we're out. The thing about
being a demon hunter today.
Well, the thing about hunting demons versus like exorcisms, it's just that it is a different thing, right? His whole thing is he's got to find a demon either before or after they've done a demonic deed of some kind and kill them, right? So you have to actually be able to identify where, when, and how those things are happening. And there can be clues. I mean, that's what his mentor, his, Sean Connery to Highlander.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Right. There can be, this is a way in which we identify large amounts of demonic energy. You know that demons are around because of the smell of sulfur, that kind of shit, like when water turns to blood, whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, demons are present. But there does need to be a sense of it is two different things, right? Either if you're going and you're just exorcising people who are possessed, I'm not actually that interested in that character, because I've seen that character so much,
totally. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What I haven't seen is the guy who goes with a fucking, shotgun and blows the head off of a demon.
Sure, totally.
Like, that I'm actually interested in seeing. I want to see that guy. I want to see Woody Harrelson with a shotgun and blowing heads off demons. But
ultimately it comes down to the question of
where to
how
go?
How is he finding demons? Because at some point you may want to have a moment where in our story that happens. They're near.
Yes. And Charlize clearly has her own version, own spidey sense, as we call it up here in the outline of how to find them. But Hank's just a guy.
Yeah.
If, for example, using 9/11 as a terrible event, that if you were going to say that was a demon infused, whether it was that they inspired it or had a direct implication behind it, what would there have been a sign that someone who knew what they were supposed to be looking for, someone who knew about demons entering the world? When a demon enters the human realm, what happens? Is there something that triggers the, oh shit, a demon has just crossed over?
Yeah, what could it be?
Because I think what's interesting is that this demon that he has here, we can learn about the signs and all of this kind of stuff through this interrogation, through whatever expositional dialogue we want to have. And we'll learn is what he expected to find, and this is what he found instead. Right. Normally, when I see this, I expect a demon group, a demon gang, or a demon whatever going to fuck with, the cops, or fuck with the, break people out of prison, or whatever the hell they're trying to do.
Right.
This time, all I found was your sorry ass.
Right.
And
this is all based on the question of where does he live?
It is. It comes out of where does he live, because it comes out of if his job is not to go to the girl who's been possessed for a week, he needs to be able to go and do his purpose.
Right.
Living in New York, for example, if there's the most amount of demonic activity in New York, it would make sense that he lives in New York or Los Angeles or one of those places.
Or Boise, Idaho. Again, Boise, Idaho could be the Hellmouth.
It could be.
Yeah.
Maybe he's in, Asheville, North Carolina.
Asheville, North Carolina, the center of all evil.
Center of all evil. But
yes, in the same way that Buffy lived where she lived in Sunnydale.
Right in Sunnydale.
Yeah. Buffy coming up twice in today's show.
Buffy.
I mean, yes. So a bunch of questions there, none of which I have answers to. But I mean, ultimately, it's the question that boils down to how does he know when and where it is? If he's a hunter again, and it might go to the fact that perhaps he doesn't work at the supermarket, and maybe he lives an RV style lifestyle, driving from place to place, putting right what once went wrong, hoping the next time, the next sleep would be the way home. But like genuinely, could that be what he does? He goes from place to place. He doesn't have a ton of money. He hopes that people, again, I'm not doing exorcisms.
Yeah, and I'm not doing exorcisms, and I'm also, as we were just saying, it's not like I can just drive from town to town finding demons to hunt.
Right, I need to have a purpose behind what I'm doing. Yeah.
Right,
so basically, I need a job.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the time when I know that a demon is, or I suspect that a demon has crossed over and something bad's going to happen in that area or whatever.
Right.
All of this ends up being somewhat futile in terms of this screenplay, because I don't know how deep into it we're going to get.
Yes.
Into what he was doing pre this event.
Yeah.
But I do think that I don't fully understand what the
life of a demon hunter in modern day America actually looks like.
Yeah, I think that's the question, right? We've chosen a character of a demon hunter. What the fuck is that?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He doesn't.
Okay, so throwing some shit out, and it's based on something that we talked about in the formulation of this character. What if he was psychic? What if he had visions? What if he could see things before they happen, to do with demonic stuff? You know, and I'm kind of a bit, but I see things. I have that kind of stuff. Sure. Something like that. Then I would go, okay, again, a little bit like the woman in The Conjuring. She had visions and saw things before they happened in certain ways. So again, along those lines.
Both her and in Constantine both have to do with a strong psychic connection.
Okay, all right.
Another thing like that, like you said, something like that.
Yeah. So could it be
that isn't psychic?
Yeah. Reddit. What is it? What is it that would allow him to know when things were going to be happening demon-wise? I mean, is there, again, just kind of coming back to this idea of, this creature he's got locked in his fucking basement, is it just a fucking severed head that's babbling? And like Nostradamus, he scribbles down what it's saying at any particular point, or the three twins in Minority Report that were just kind of like babble shit. And he just goes down and writes it all down and figures out what it means from the clues that this fucking babbling demon that he's got chained in his potting shed is saying every day. So is there something like that where it's not him, but he has access to a something that would allow him that would allow him to do it? That was that moment on the BBC.
That was that moment.
That was that. Yes, totally. Yeah.
That was that moment. So, sorry about that, folks. You just got to meet Gene.
Oh, it was Gene. Of course it was Gene. Of course it was. If it was going to be anyone interrupting our podcast, it was going to be your Russian handyman, Gene. He sometimes just comes in and sits down and eats.
Yes. I don't know what his nationality has to do with it, but yes.
I'm building a picture for the viewers at home.
Yes. Anyway, the point is,
yes, how does Hank know when things are going to happen?
So there is something interesting. Okay. There's something kind of cool about, although not specifically the idea of like a babbling head, but there is something interesting about this kind of using that he's not necessarily psychic or has any sort of powers, but that whatever his mentor had that led him to led him to find these things, whatever that was, that got passed down to him.
Yes.
Something that shown, a gateway just opens and I can track it because blank.
Totally.
A magic, magic something or other.
Yeah.
Is there a, it's not, I'm thinking of like the books or like from Harry Potter or like like a magic map that basically like when a hellmouth opens, it like all of a sudden scribbles, a location like almost like a magic GPS.
Sure. Or if if in his basement he's got the lab from Ghostbusters that's filled with weird shit all over the place, and he's got he's looking at various sensor readings across the country and he can go, oh, there's a spike here, there's a something there. Oh my goodness,
that's cool. All over actually, I like that. That's actually really interesting. Bringing a little science to it, almost like a guy, almost like earthquake detection.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
like system. Like they use that. There's a certain level of. Sorry if you can hear the beeping in the background.
We can't.
Good. There's a certain level of a detection system, kind of. You know.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that. And actually, you could still have the demon down there because he could have used this song or this. I like that
because it feels a bit
almost grounded in a weird fucking way.
In a weird way, it's grounded.
But then he has a job and he goes home, and in his fallout shelter, it's not you've got a demon tied up in one corner and a huge fucking Batman style computer bay.
Absolutely. And he's just this
Ghostbusters, you know.
Right, cool.
That tracks fucking radiation levels across the world, you know, or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
You know. Right. Small vibrational readings that if it's in this particular frequency, then it means that there might be crossover.
Totally. I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Because, like, you know, I have an app on my phone that tracks minor earthquakes. Right. You know, when I lived in LA, it was a necessity. We're like, oh, how close was that one? Whoa. You know, but he can see. And maybe it is. That's one aspect of it. The other one might be, you know, how much ozone is there in the air in any particular area. You know, like it's stuff that you could actually. It's not like he's gone around and planted plants. Like it's all freely available, but he knows how to read the signs.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
He's been taught and given the technology by his mentor how to do this.
Yes.
And so as soon as they cross over, he's got like a detection system. It's like all of a sudden, like the thing that scribbles, you know, and he's like, oh shit, okay. And he jumps on a plane to wherever he needs to go to, that kind of thing, you know.
Right. Cool.
And I don't know how he like takes them from there, but he'll
that said, where does he live?
That said, I think he can live because of that, he can live wherever we want him to live. Great. Because he can track and trace where they do come in. Although I will say it's a lot easier for him to be in a larger metropolitan area.
Sure.
Makes more sense.
Sure.
He can be in the suburbs. That's fine. I still, for whatever reason, I still like Vegas, and I think he's like lives out in Henderson.
Fine. Lives in Henderson now. It's just outside Vegas. Sounds great.
You know?
Everyone can get to Vegas and out of Vegas easily.
Yeah, totally. Right. Everyone around the world. Everyone comes to Vegas.
Everyone comes to Vegas.
So, all right, sees the news. So we're going to go, first of all, exterior, Hank's house.
Yes.
You know what actually could be cool is
what could be cool?
Pulls up and in the background, we just see like you know, you can see in Vegas because like from miles, you can see like, like
totally. See it. Yeah.
Probably not in Henderson. It doesn't really fucking matter for this purpose.
No one's going to hang on a minute.
What?
No one's going to say, hang on a minute. That's you can't see. You can't see the Vegas.
Pulls in the driveway.
I'm going to give this movie 1 out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes.
You can see the Vegas skyline.
Right.
In the distance.
Right.
You know, goes inside.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, we were going to say his car. There's a coexist.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so he's got some bumper sticker on his car. You know, whatever it is.
Car. You know, he goes inside, and then I think is it down in like is it a basement or is it out in the back separate?
Either way. I mean, I tend to I like the idea that it's actually a fallout shelter. I like that. And for somebody who might be worried about the apocalypse actually happening, I think the idea of him having a fallout shelter feels right.
Okay, great. So,
but I like, so he goes inside. So interior, Hank's home at night. I think we do. I think he fries up the steak while the steak's frying up.
Okay.
I think he goes and gets a bunch of torture equipment.
Sure. Steak until it's black.
Or he's got an Amazon package and he opens it up and it's a, something painful and whippy. Don't know. Something you think, what's this dude into?
You know what? I think here's this. This is just a fun image. He fries up 2 steaks.
Yeah,
one
sure.
For him, one black.
Yes, great.
Shard.
Great.
He pours a glass of wine.
Oh, he's a wine drinker, right?
1 glass of wine.
Yes.
Plates the steaks.
Yeah.
His has, a side of mash or something like that, whatever. But the point is, like, he's gonna go down and he's gonna put like,
yeah, sure, he's gonna put 1 down. Yeah, great.
And he's gonna eat his dinner. They're gonna eat dinner together.
Sure. That's great.
And then exterior, Hank's house, backyard. Hank goes with the dinner plates and wine.
What looks like a small shed, but actually it's the entrance to his
shed. He opens the door and enters.
Interior, Hank's fallout shelter.
Yep.
Great.
Okay. I don't know why there's a period there.
Great.
Good night. Hank
goes down the steps. Yes.
Flips on. He flicks on the lights with his elbow.
Great.
About starts to talk as if someone else is in there.
Cool. And then we see chained to a chair, bolted to the floor, some dude.
Okay, so here we go. The floor, it's a demon, but what does that mean? So let's continue this conversation.
Yeah.
Does this demon look like a person like Charlize? Does this demon, maybe this demon used to look like a person like Charlize, but has been tortured to the point where now he actually looks more like a demon, but still
sure.
Yeah,
I'd be open to that. I think that's kind of cool.
I think we do have to still be careful about the imagery they use in Constantine, because they have human faces that then holy water burns off, and then they have a demon underneath. So we just don't want to do that.
Every time he hits him, could he change a little bit? Don't know.
Like what?
Like, I do that and I come back and my eyes are yellow, and hit me again, I come back and my teeth are spiky, and poof, blow to the head, comes up and my horns have come out. Just something like that. Maybe. How, again, just asking the question, how does he know that this guy's a demon?
Well, it's going to have to come down to the same types of technology that he has to fabricate them. He's going to have. We
had one version. I just want to remind you of a backstory we constructed a little bit for Hank, which is that he could actually see them. In the scratch pad, that was one thing that we talked about. That he's got a defect whereby when he actually looks at them, he can see them for what they are. But I don't know if it should feel the same as Charlize. But I don't know. It's not common, is it?
No, it's not common.
Yeah. So we could do something whereby, if I were directing on the page, which we don't do a lot in our scripts, but if it were, it would be, he's talking to him and he's like, how did you even know I was one of them? He's like, oh, I can see you for what we are. The camera would move behind Hank, and as it came around the other side, he would look like a demon. We would just establish that this is what Hank can see. Perhaps. Yeah.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm still a bit hung up on what they even look like. Like, even as you were describing, like,
yeah, no, totally.
You were just riffing on the
I was,
the sharp teeth and the horns and whatnot. And I just kind of go like, I don't know how fun it is to do like the really kind of traditional.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. I mean, honestly,
like, what does a demon have to be? Like, they don't have to be.
I think we can do anything we want, honestly. You can go what you expect a demon to be, or you can reimagine what a demon is. I mean, here's the thing. Angels typically look like people with wings.
Mm-hmm.
That's all the only thing they have is fucking swan's wings.
Right.
You know? And a halo. Sure, they've got a halo. That's like more like a nimbus of power playing around there.
Not all of them have halos.
But not all of them have halos, you know? So is there something whereby we just go, they just like look like people, except blank. You know? Their skin is jet black. Or whatever. It's the Blue Man Group. They all look like the men from Blue Man Group. Hence why we're in Vegas.
Right.
But we're going to have to answer this question tomorrow, Ben.
We are. It's another story question. It's so funny. Just, you know, again, for everybody, like, this is really the process. I mean, it's so funny. Like, we keep coming back every day and we're pushing through the outline. And sometimes it feels like we're walking through, like, you know, molasses. But every time we ask these questions, it makes the story richer.
Yeah, and it enriches the world. You know, because we're going, well, how does he know? What does the life of a demon hunter look like on a daily basis? Well,
so it makes the story richer and enriches the world.
Exactly right. Exactly. Now, there will come a point where, because we're still very much in the setup of this story, you know, whereby we won't be necessarily going into as much because we're still in setup. We're still
definitely most of this really deep digging happens, and we're getting, you know, we're slowly getting through it. But I will say, like, we've still got a ways to go. I was hoping we were going to get further through Act 1 today, but it just didn't happen.
Yeah,
I think that I just want to make a note here that basically,
what does a demon look like?
What does a demon, or at least this demon,
look like?
And then I'm also going to add in here, Hank has a Ghostbusters Batman setup to track demon activity on Earth.
Mm-hmm. Great.
We'll figure out exactly what that looks like. Yeah, exactly. Ghostbusters. Is Ghostbusters one word too?
I think it's one word.
I think it is too. Oh, well. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. This was great. Again, we slowly are making progress, and this is the truth. This is the truth of what it is to write a screenplay.
Yes.
So
now you know. Now you know what you're getting yourself into. And again, the reason we're doing this is so that we can actually write the screenplay. You know, if we were writing now, we'd still be having all these same conversations, but at some point we get stuck and we go, oh, we've got to go back.
We'd be answering them on the fly and then realizing that we didn't think them all the way through.
Exactly right. So reason to outline number 329.
Right. All right.
All right.
Thanks. Take care, everybody.